I actually forgot to stop the recording at break, which I only do like once a month. But it does mean that the people on YouTube are going to have to flip over to the end of the video. Mick, you were asking a question that I feel is extremely interesting. Let's go ahead and answer it.
So, as this is my longest running character and longest running campaign, I know where I want Mortrick to be developmentally at each level, as well as stats and abilities and whatever I'm going to pick. So is that, like, to you guys, do you play and like figure it out as it goes along, or do you have kind of an idea from the get-go? Because like right now, Mortrick is a total shitbird. And I hate him. And I don't want him to die, but like I kind of have an idea of where I'm taking him. And hopefully that's
stats wise and like how Runa is going to progress. I usually play it like whatever I'm doing in game will affect what my stats and what I take at next level will be like. Developmentally, I just kind of figure out what's happening RP wise and just sort of progress on it, like have an end goal for her, and everything she does will get to that end goal.
Yeah.
Unless she dies. So that's kind of how I usually play it.
I would like to throw out here, I will have an idea mechanically of how I want to build my character usually, but that comes with a lot of system knowledge, right? Like I have a pretty good idea of where I'm going. That's not the most important thing in the world. It is important to have a character goal. Like become an adventurer of enough power to do X, right? Whether it's acquiring money or fame or just for finding a good time, it can't just be I go on an adventure because. There needs to be an end goal. I go on an adventure to pay my student loans is great, but what do you do after that? And you're rapidly approaching the after that phase. What does Mortrick want out of life? And you can kind of evolve from there. I feel like Mortrick's emotional growth would be very interesting to see, both to the party, to the audience. I would like to see it. I think Runa would really like to see it a lot.
Like next episode maybe, or even this episode, you know, if you want to work it in there, that's great.
Just leave some bounds.
I'm hoping you get some some life lessons through the ship and this passage, you know.
Especially given your near-death experiences and rapid
I would have said that
succession.
near-death experience is probably where you should start questioning things.
Yeah.
So, like, do I start questioning the first one, the second one, the third
That you can't go around bullshitting every single person around you without consequence.
Especially multiple people at one time.
Playing all sides.
Yeah.
Well, and like it did occur to me, like as a player, I had a different idea of what I should have done on the bridge. But I think as a character, Mortrick still would have made that completely stupid call because he doesn't think of himself as an adventurer. Like he doesn't think that this is his life now. So
yeah. No, I think you played that really well as far as Mortrick is concerned.
Yeah. I agree with that.
Then it sounds like Mortrick needs to figure out what he's doing with the rest of his life. I mean, he has joined a secret order responsible for bringing balance to the universe and preventing the most horrendous evil known to history to spreading out not only on this plane, but every plane. How concerned is he about those things? Perhaps, you know, your group has never even talked about this. Let me posit here that now on this ship while you're traveling might be a good time to like get some character motivation stories. How much do you believe these ancient stories? Does that sound like an interesting opening back into the second half?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think so.
The first night, then you are not required to stand watch out of port. So the crew works in 8-hour shifts. There's 2 groups of 6 that trade off. So you'll be seeing a different group every night. Every other night you'll be with the same people. The first night you just spend the time recovering from your, I'm going to say escapade, crime, felony, assault, and murder.
Those are all words that you could use for that.
I don't feel like any of those apply to us.
You find yourselves in the hold below decks. There are 2 rooms that have been set aside for you, but technically the whole hold is for you to use. Occasionally someone comes down in order to pump the bilge, but there are 2. They are not flame lanterns, to be clear. They are mage-lit lanterns that have like a glowing white light that comes out of them, but there's no heat and no fire. The light that they cast is weaker than a normal flame, but it doesn't flicker, so it's like a steady weak light bulb. The boat creaks gently as you sail out of port, and you are left hearing the men above you either preparing to get to sleep or telling tales of great pirate adventures. It sounds like tonight's tale is about the greatest pirates who ever lived on the Silver Sea. And you find yourselves questioning, not just Mortrick, but all of you, like, why are you on this adventure? What does the Order of St. Mercia Ravanaver mean to you? Do you believe in the threat of the Demon Lord?
So who starts?
I feel like I've seen the machinations of the Demon Lord in the Underdark in my times defending my hold, and like I certainly believe that something is rising out of the deeps and has chosen to take this task as a sort of a redemption path for Kaz.
Interesting.
I've seen the evils of this world in my travels, known it to consume quite a few people I've met along the way. I believe these tales to be true, and I believe that if there's anything I can do to alleviate the pains and the fear from this world, then I will do those things. And I believe this journey to be a truthful one of redemption, one that we can all learn from and be, better people in the end, as well as saving the lives of many people across the world.
I mean, honestly, guys, I thought I was signing up for a loan repayment program, and this is getting all to be a little beyond me. I think I might be in over my head.
I think you might be as well, but you're in it now.
Yeah, so, do you think it's too late to quit? Do you think they'd be okay with that? Or do you think I'm kind of stuck?
I think you're stuck.
You think I'm stuck? Because let me tell you, I'm literally 3 college credits away from graduating, and I have been for 10 semesters? I mean, that's so much. Yeah, sure, I'll go back and take that last class, but...
We're not worried about your college courses. I think there are bigger things at stake here.
I mean, I used to think that, college was it. And I was scared. What happens after college? I have to get a job. That's no fun. I just want to live on student loans. Turns out that's also a bad idea. So now here I am on a boat in the middle of the goddamn sea, and I don't even like to get wet. So what am I supposed to do?
I don't know how you would come to such perspective. So completely foreign to my dwarven ways, and I think the ways of many others. Living off of debt never seems like a good idea.
I mean, usually it works. I've been doing it for years. The trick is how to stay, just one address ahead of the collection party. Unfortunately, my last address was Goblin Horde under a mountain, so they found me. Go figure.
I think at this point, your address is your very soul, and they seem to have it.
But right. No, okay, yeah, I'll give you that too. That works, Kaz.
So Rik-Jaxx's perspective is, after Blightenstone, he's realized that there are greater evils in the world that need to be defeated somehow. And so he kind of feels like evil might be winning the grand cosmic battles. So his thing is just to help people, to help himself research magic, which will give him more weapons to fight off the evil. So basically, going after these supposedly evil artifacts is always a good thing. Going after any, anything that he can do that keeps any demons off the primal plane sounds like a good idea to him. And he's seen demons firsthand, so he knows not to underestimate them or not to assume they don't exist.
Chat is saying nice things about the art. If you got a chance to check Twitch chat.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate that.
The hands have a lot of character, which I think is true. I observe a lot of art. I don't know how to draw things. You've seen my attempt to make a bridge.
Hey, it worked for the playtest.
But I feel like hands are tough, like real tough for people to draw. And a lot of the times they like put hands behind things or in things, like, oh, look at this guy, he's got a hand behind his back, or it's in his shirt pocket or something. You know what I mean?
Yeah. A lot of artists will try and hide hands, and like in the end, it's sort of a bad idea, I guess. But I mean, if it gets you where you're going,
I filled it and give everyone club fists.
This is the most Hamlet version of Mortrick I've ever seen. To be or not to be, that is the question. That's pay my student debts and save the world, or run away from it all.
Yeah. I just see him as the grand overactor. So
alas, poor Mortrick, I knew thee well, a fellow of infinite pest.
Yeah. So I admit I used a little bit of reference for the pose, but everything else I'm kind of adding on top.
Yeah, it's great. I like
you can trust me.
Is that not a face you could trust?
No.
Yeah.
Sorry, person whose face that is, but no. I've heard him talk before.
And back to the hands things, I've heard other artists, or at least one artist, claim that their advice was, if you learn to draw hands and faces better than anything else, you can kind of fake the rest, but you can't fake hands and faces.
Okay,
so
interesting.
I try to spend time trying to get good hands.
Hands and faces are like my two favorite things to draw.
Yeah.
Mortrick, do you come to any conclusions? Are you confused, or are you just looking for a way out desperately? Has your core philosophy been shaken or stirred?
Yeah, definitely shaken. I sit in quiet reflection, and in the middle of the night when everyone's asleep, I say, psst, psst, Runa, are you awake? Runa, hello, Runa?
What?
Oh, were you asleep? I'm sorry. You can go back to sleep. It's not a big deal.
Thank you. And I roll over.
Well, hey, Runa, while you're up, I was wondering, you know how, you've told us, how it all went down at the bridge? And, let's be honest, it was my plan, and my plan worked, right? But, you ended up being, a pretty important part of that plan. And I just want to say, thank you for bringing it home. You backed my play, and that means a lot to me. Usually I feel and
Mortrick, no one knew what your play was. I acted on instinct alone.
Knew, you instinctively got it. That's what I find so I feel like we've connected.
Think about this. When you're planning a plan, keep us in the loop, and it'll go a lot smoother.
Yeah, I could see that. That does make a certain amount of sense. But I just wanted to say,
I realize your brain works much faster than ours, but
I couldn't have done it without you.
If you keep up with us, it'll work out in the end. I try to stroke his ego a little bit, but also trying to get out of it what I need.
They're like, thank you, Runa. Thank you.
Now go the fuck to sleep.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm
pipe
gonna, like,
down.
wrap up in my blanket and like try to scooch next to her.
I scooch away from him. I probably took the one room and just left the two to their, no, the other three to their room.
I fall out of my hammock from being in deep sleep. Now I'm sleeping on the ground.
Seeing Kaz in a hammock would be hilarious. How does this work?
It's just like
Just all over the place.
Gilligan's Island.
I feel like he'll be an expert sailor by the time the 14 days are done, or very, very sick.
Yeah. And then he'll have his sea legs, and then he'll have to get off the ship, and then he'd be like a baby trying to walk.
yeah.
In the morning, let me tell you about that, okay? I actually have an extremely rare condition where I don't get seasick on the water, but I do when I come back off the ship. That's like 1/3 of the time I've been on the ship, and when I go cruising, it's like for 12 days. So for like 4 days afterwards, I'm seasick the whole time. It is exhausting and terrible. It's awful. I'm great the whole time I'm there, and then when I come back from vacation, I'm like, oh, I'm not moving. This is bad. This is bad, guys.
Wow.
Oh,
You literally
my
just
goodness.
tilt yourself back and forth for 4 days.
Yeah, it's, oh my god, it's awful and horrible. I have to take that Dramamine shit to get all of the symptoms of seasickness on land.
Yeah.
Oh,
That's why boats are stupid.
I disagree. Boats are great. You're stupid.
He says while on a boat.
Yeah. When you wake up in the morning, people are coming down through the hold, and you can hear them quietly exclaiming that the bilge is clean for some reason. For you, this is surprising. When you went to sleep last night, it smelled awful down here. I mean, the bilge is where everything runs to, where all the pee and poop from above hand runs to. It's where all the dirty seawater ends up in. It's where all the garbage ends up in, and then you just pump it out. So the cargo hold wasn't great smelling to begin with, and of course it's a ship full of sweaty men who work 12 hours a day at the least, sometimes more. But the cargo hold smells like fresh lemons for some reason when you wake up. And everyone around you seems to think that this is remarkable, or at least to be remarked on.
But like, you're welcome, guys. You know, I couldn't
Sounds pretty.
sleep last
Oh,
night.
was it something that you did?
Oh, yeah. I couldn't sleep last night, so I thought, hey, why not be productive, make new friends on the boat, help you guys out. So, cleaned it up down here.
Nice work.
Well, thank you.
Make a deception check. Okay, 11. All right. It's not like they outrightly know that you're lying. They kind of believe you for now, but they're going to keep an eye on you.
Way to build
Runa,
that
you
trust,
actually
Mortrick.
believe that Mortrick did go out of his way to make this happen. You don't know how or why, but somehow he's made it happen.
I feel like I really got to him last night,
Yeah, deeply. On an emotional level, you connected.
Yeah.
Your wise insight and guidance will surely lead him down the correct path. A more lawful, less dumb path.
Yeah. One that involves less death.
One that's way less selfish, at the very least. What do you all do with your day? I mean, look, you have a night shift for about 6 hours at night, and then you're free the whole rest of the day. There's not a lot to do on a boat, and someone is always sleeping. So you can't get too riotous.
Just throughout the day, I'm going to go up to each of the three of them and be like, hey, did you clean it out down there?
I am gonna go around the ship. I'm still curious about this lemon fresh scent that we got going in the bilge area.
Interesting.
I will, I guess, investigate that. Or, yeah. I'll ask Rik-Jaxx. Do you want to take a look at this with me?
Yeah, why not? I've got nothing else to do on a boat in the middle of the water.
Yeah.
Sounds good. Let's go do some investigation.
Runa, what do you got going on?
I probably spend my day meditating and then going throughout the ship, kind of just enjoying it, going up and down the scaffolding when I'm not working, and then probably playing with the little girl a little bit.
Interesting.
Play with her, but don't touch her.
Wow.
All right, so Mortrick, let's start with you. You're doing an investigation by talking with all of the sailors.
No, I was just going to ask the party members.
Oh, okay. I
To
mean,
see.
I don't think anybody actually did in this group, right? I happen to know because I know who did do it.
Yeah. Mostly, I'm
But
gonna
do any
hang
of you lie to Mortrick?
No, I just
No.
what respect I had for him when he said he did it is gone now because he didn't do it.
Hal's just like, no, I didn't do it. I mean, I could clean up in there, but it looks great.
Yeah, well, I mean, like,
I'm sure it'll get dirty
I was
again throughout the
wondering-
day, but I mean, I assume a bilge is normally quite dirty. That it is where the word bilge comes from. So,
Well, no one knows, huh? Well, I'm going to give up my investigation. I'm going to hang out with the steersman and learn everything I can about steering a boat.
interesting. Very well. Rik-Jaxx, Kazador, working together. You both enter into the bilge. There's 2 men in there pumping it right now. Some seawater has gotten into it, but all of the stains that would normally be on the wall have turned into like the beautiful wood that the rest of the ship has. The water is restaining now, but there's like no weird poop floating around. There's just kind of dirty seawater. They look confused when you enter, but they don't question.
Have you
So
guys ever seen anything like this down here? I asked the.
No, never seen anything like this. Even on a fresh boat come out, usually the workers would be using the bilge to do their business. So rare to see a bilge this clean.
And are you guys curious about this, or are we just? rolling with
Aye,
this?
on the seas, you ask few questions because you'll find fewer answers. I just assume it's the work of a friendly fairy. I mean, so the second guy goes, I had heard that your man did it. You know, the bard, Mortrick.
He does like to say that. I didn't see him do it. He may have done it, but I'm just checking to see if there was something else going on here.
I'd like to have Rik-Jaxx start wandering around. He's kind of casually investigating while Kazador's having this conversation,
Okay.
just to see what there is to see.
Yeah, make a investigation check with advantage from Kazador. It's going to take you several minutes of fine-tooth combing the area.
Wait, Kazador, what's your investigation? Because I'm actually proficient in that.
Yes, you're the one making the roll, and you're much better than he is.
Yeah. Yeah, you
So
do.
he's doing advantage for me. Okay.
Yes, he's giving you advantage.
Got
Yes.
it.
So
Got it.
you- I guess you get the best roll. Is that what it is?
Yes,
counts.
it's the better
Yeah.
of the two. 15. Okay. You determine that this area was cleaned sectionally. 1 cubic foot, panels exist where it started in the top left, did all the way around, and then cleaned going down and down and down. You can kind of see that the stuff at the top has started getting less clean faster than the stuff at the bottom. So like whatever was dripping down through the decks is like dripping down this way. It's weirdly perfectly sectioned blocks of cleaning.
How big are the sections?
1 cubic foot. I guess it would technically be 1 square foot against the.
What? Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
It seems oddly similar to the cleaning techniques that we found in the mountain.
I thought the same thing, but it's only 1 cubic foot. That's pretty darn small.
Very small.
Yep. So yeah, it is a mystery.
It does smell faintly of lemons in here, and also dirty bilge water. But
Very good. Connection. Yeah, I mean, I don't
know that there's going to be an amazing thing to do, but so does that investigation kind of cover the entire deck that we're on, the entire level?
it covers the bilge, so the very front
Yeah.
end of the bottom of the boat.
Okay. So what do you want to do now, Kazador? I mean, it's a mystery, but
yeah, we're sort of at a dead end here. So as far as what Kaz does during the day on the ship, he wants to learn everything about ship banning, and then specifically he likes the knots. So like,
Okay.
How to tie various sailor knots. He seems like a useful thing to him, particularly because it seems like you could use it to structure, supports for buildings or things like that, or construction tools.
Interesting. Rik-Jaxx, what do you spend the rest of your time doing?
I would like to go up the crow's nest.
It is occupied, and the person up there does not wish to be disturbed. When you start climbing up the ropes, he's like, there's only room for one up here. You might be mighty small, but you're not small enough. You can see he's got like a glass of alcohol and a book. And a little like stool.
I go, I got some money. Let's see. I'll give you two silver pieces if I can just, stay up here for a couple hours. I'll keep my eyes open. I'll make sure I'm actively doing my job.
Oh, I thought you were just being a tourist. No, if you've come to spend time, if you can be quiet, no need to pay me. You can just stay up here, hang off the side. We'll give you a securing rope.
Sounds good. I just need to contemplate for a bit.
So, Rik-Jaxx, you and Mortrick come to, and also Kazador, all come to the same similar conclusion. The whole ship has way more ropes than it should. At night, it wasn't clear because it's dark, and of course there was a lot of chaos moving things on. But the inner rail of the ship, all along the outside, has rings with metal rings with ropes running through them. And all of the rigging has a guide rope on it. Runa,
What's a guide rope?
A guide rope is like a whole second rope that just runs alongside it.
Yep.
So imagine a regular set of rigging and then just one single rope running right next to it. Mm-hmm. Runa, you don't notice any of these other ropes, but you do notice that Cynthia, or as she is known to her friends, the water dragon Cynthia, has a special belt with a buckle ring to hook onto ropes. And she's buckled in when you find her to go play with her after you get done meditating. So she's like on the side of the ship, just looking out over things. She's got her hands on the side of the boat, and when you approach, she's just like, "Hello."
Hello there. What are you doing?
I'm communing with the water.
Oh, really? What does it say?
I'm not sure, but I'm really powerful. I've got dragon's blood.
Wow, that's amazing. Do you often talk to the water?
Not all of the time, but the water is my friend.
It is a very soothing presence, isn't it?
It kind of feels like it's always going somewhere.
Do you climb the scaffolding a lot? I see you have some rigging on you.
Oh yeah, my captain. You could see she was definitely about to say dad. Rigged the whole ship so that I could work on the ship, because I'm the bosun's mate, and that's very important. I help the bosun do bosun things.
Oh, that was nice of him.
Yeah, there's a lot of loud yelling and telling people what to do. I'm very good at that.
Was wondering if you'd maybe like to learn some cartography. Your father says that he teaches you most things, but maybe you'd like to learn something else?
She's down with it, man. She's 100% into learning some cartography.
Sweet. I'll probably spend 1 or 2 days with her, just kind of teaching her what I know.
Make an intelligence check.
I can do that.
I'm about to ask all of you to make intelligence checks if you want to have that ready, because each of you has indicated you wanted to learn something.
Intelligence. Oh, I gotta go back.
So yeah, let's have everybody check intelligence. Rik-Jaxx, you're learning how the crow's nest work. Kazador, you're learning knots. Mortrick is learning steering. Kazador, look underground, there's not a lot of knots used. There's not a lot of ropes used. You guys are more of like a metal and stone people.
Yeah. This just completely befuddled my ways.
It's not a save, right? It's just a check.
It's just a check.
Yeah.
But most of you won't have advantage on any of the saves.
Yeah,
Rik-Jaxx, you look. It's not like there's a lot to learn about crow's nostalgia. It's mostly a lot of quietly looking and waiting. But you get into the swing of things, right? Because there literally is a lot of swinging up here. The crow's nest is the part of the ship that moves the most. So there's a lot of motion. Getting used to it is pretty important. And you have to rest your eyes every once in a while looking at the horizon and looking for people, looking for boats, looking for landmarks. Up at the top, the guy teaches you some of the local constellations so that you can find the North Star. And yeah, you're into it. You've got extremely basic sailing knowledge of how to use the crow's nest. Runa, you do a pretty good job of teaching her cartography. She actually picks it up way faster than you would think a kid her age would be possible.
Mm-hmm.
She helps make new maps indicating the local ocean currents. She seems to be pretty good at predicting how the ocean currents are going to be, but she adds a lot of weird extra marks onto hers.
Such as
like runic marks, like strange J hooks, something that looks like a fish hook. Like,
do I gain any insight or knowledge from her based off of her actions and kind of the marks that she puts down on the page?
Make an Arcana check.
As if she's more than she seems. Arcana.
Yep. We'll see how well you do on this check. All right. I want to cut to Mortrick real quick. I wouldn't say you annoy the steersman. But teaching you how to steer a boat is not a 2-day course that they are capable of learning you. And they aren't here to teach you. So they spend a lot of time ignoring you while steering the boat. Runa, a 14 on Arcana check.
Yes.
You're no wizard. You are not trained in the wizarding arts. However, you have heard stories. Everyone's heard stories of young mages who are about to manifest their gift of being a sorcerer. Strange magical occurrences, voices talking to them, unusual sights or sounds, and you're beginning to think that perhaps this young girl is in fact a dragon-blooded sorcerer, as she somewhat slightly claims to be. Mostly just the dragon part.
Right. After her last, kind of lesson from me, excuse me, I'm definitely going to go to the captain and kind of explain to him what's been happening and what I think about it, like her being probably being some type of sorceress. She seems to commune with something that's not there, or some entity or some magical being that's...
It should note that her dad is #shook when this happens. Like, he falls into his chair. He looks like he's having a heart attack. He's just like, my little girl's a sorceress. Oh no. She's
definitely magically inclined. And
I wanted her to grow up to be a nice, strong pirate like her father.
She could be a world-renowned pirate. She just has abilities that... I don't
know how to do this. I don't know how to raise a sorcerer. Her mom's gone.
I believe you've been raising her quite well so far. Perhaps...
what do you need to be a sorcerer? Like, are there things that you need? He's like dying. He knows nothing about sorcery life. He knows the sea. So you would know that she's going to need an arcane focus at some point, or a spell component pouch filled with stuff.
Okay.
And these are extremely expensive. Like, an arcane bonus is like 25 gold pieces.
Yeah.
It would be several years of work for a normal person.
Interesting. I believe, let me check. I think I have almost that amount of money. I definitely want to get her a focus. I just can't get one for her right now.
So Mortrick is technically an arcane spellcaster, and Kazador is technically an artisan. If the two of them work together, you believe that if they put their gifts toward it and didn't fuck up real bad, with a sufficient amount of money and material, they could craft an arcane furnace with several days worth of work. However, it would be in the shape of Kazador's choosing.
I could persuade Kazador to make it maybe look like a dragon, a water dragon. I'll bring it up to them definitely and say, hey, we could do something really nice for this young girl aboard the ship. I think it would get us in the good graces of the captain and potentially give us an ally in the future.
Okay, so you guys are all back. You're all back downstairs. Runa is selling you on this. You're seated around a card table with crates as seats.
What is the I've never heard.
Yes, I'm on board. This is a great idea.
What are we making? I'm making something.
So an arcane focus is a special item developed. So normally wizards and sorcerers and warlocks would need to take out like bat guano and throw it in order to make a fireball happen. But you can also create an orb, a crystal, a rod, a staff, a wand-like length of wood, or a similar item to channel spells through. And as long as that person is in possession of the item, most spells that require components will instead go through this object. However, if they lose it, they will require the spell components again.
It's like Lionel and his sword.
Yes, that is technically strangely accurate.
Yeah. Okay.
Just say yes, Kaz. We're on board with this. Yes.
And what do we need?
Well, that's a great question. You're the artisan.
Mm-hmm.
You will craft the object.
I know stone. I know only stone.
And then there's not a lot of stone on board, but there is some stone to work with. Mortrick will need to infuse it with magical energy.
Okay. And so I have to make a carving of a dragon.
Is that what you want to make?
Is that what Runa? That's Runa. What you said.
So I want to remind you that
I feel like the girl would appreciate a design that is dragon-like or represents the sea of some kind. So I was trying to incorporate both those elements.
Mm-hmm.
Before we get this process started, I want to give Kaz and myself an inspiration to get it done right.
Okay, I want to throw this towards you guys. This is for one of my other games. An artist named Radasaurus who watches this show, so I mean he'll know that this is happening.
Hello, Radasaurus.
He's not watching live, but he's on YouTube.
Oh.
This is for my character Karatina, who's a warlock. You can see that she has a staff that's her arcane focus, and it's made by her dad, so it has a giant fish on the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
Nice.
So I mean, you could carve a dragon, but I want to remind you that for the rest of her life, she would need to pull out a dragon and present it towards people to cast spells. So it might want to be... Look, there's no problem with having a dragon-themed object, but it should possibly be functional in some way.
Perhaps, like, can you do something small, like a wristband or something large that can wrap around her?
I don't think you can make that out of stone.
Oh, that's right. I forget.
What about like a stone pendant?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, pendant could work.
I mean, given Kaz is the maker of this item, so he's gonna try and conceive of an object that she would fit into her hand like it was a sort of a brass knuckle type object or a tonfa type object, but at the top, and then the design on top is a snarling dragon mouth of some kind.
Okay, so this is like a wand that you could beat somebody with.
Yeah, you could like punch with this object and sort of project the power, I suppose.
Interesting. Yeah. Okay, I'm into it. It's good that you mentioned that it's small because you don't have a lot of stone to work with. Let's go ahead and make a craft check. So you'll have proficiency with your artisan's tools. So this is you downstairs with like a set of glasses and like
And you can add
So I want.
I think to it still.
You can add.
It's a plus. It's a 1d6, I think.
I think it's a 6.
Yeah.
I thought it started as a 4 and got bigger.
No,
Nope,
it's
1d6. Yep.
Yeah.
So
I play a bard in my
Rik-Jaxx,
other game.
Rik-Jaxx is going to like be a, what do I want to say, like a backseat driver. So because he's done stonework too, but probably not the degree that Kazador's done. So he's sort of like kibitzing, and maybe it's helpful, maybe it's not.
I'll allow for it.
Yeah.
You can take advantage on this roll, Kazador.
All right.
So it's a little annoying having Rik-Jaxx over your shoulder.
Just roll 2 1d20s, and then you get
your proficiency, and then it'll be your
bonus.
dexterity as well.
Yeah.
Dexterity.
And you can add a 1d6 to it.
Plus 1d6.
And then yeah. So a lot of numbers you get.
Just don't fuck up. You don't want to
Yeah.
ruin this girl's beautiful dragon tonfa. I mean, look, you have the potential to create a future magic well. That's a 23.
Damn, dude.
And that's not even including your proficiency or your dexterity.
That is a natural
So
20.
what does that end up being? So your proficiency, I think, is going to be a 2?
Yeah.
And then
Yeah.
what's your dexterity rating?
1.
Okay. You end up with a 26. You create exactly what you were looking for. It looks beautiful. It should be noted that this thing could be a work of art. I mean, this thing is worth more than the 25 gold pieces of material you put into it. Like, this could be an heirloom item worth 100 or more gold pieces.
It's a thing worthy of a dwarf.
When it's done, when I see how beautiful it is, I'm like, so Kaz, how many of these do you think, and how long do you think it would take you to make these?
So, Kaz, you've entered. Have you ever played Dwarf Fortress?
No, I haven't, but I mean, I looked at it.
Okay, so dwarves can occasionally in that game go into a frenzy where they require huge amounts of alcohol, and they take over one of your workshops and prevent anyone else from going there. They grab random items that are around them and create a masterful work of art. This is what happened to you. This is an untwinnable event. You will never create a work exactly like this. You may never create a work this good for your entire life if you spent your whole life working at it. This was your frenzy moment. You poured everything into it. Do you have a name for this creation? I'm inclined to call it the Dragon Tonfa of Kazador. Or you could call it the Dragon Tonfa of the Water Dragon Cynthia, or any other name if you have a cooler name, which will not be that difficult.
The first one sounded
The
fine.
Dragon Tonfa of Kazador.
Yeah.
The White. Okay, yeah, you've created an heirloom item worth far more than the material put into it with some expert craftsmanship. You hand it off to Mortrick. Mortrick, this must be handled with extreme care. An arcane focus is not a joke. If you misproperly align it, it could hurt the girl. More importantly, it could hurt you while you're attempting to put the magic into it. In fact, you could shatter this thing or just ruin its ability to work as an arcane focus.
And then her dreams will be crushed, just like mine. Welcome to life, kid.
Is there any way we can...
Can I double inspire myself, or you only allow?
You can only single inspire yourself.
Okay.
And none of you are spellcasters, so you cannot help him with
All right,
the
so what am I
Arcana part.
adding to this?
You are making an Arcana check, you are adding your intelligence, and you are also inspiring yourself.
So it's just the Arcana and my
Intelligence.
intelligence?
I think it's a normal Arcana check.
So it's just normal Arcana check plus the D6.
Yep.
All right. Am I proficient in Arcana?
I do feel like this art style is very OSR. Yeah.
What's OSR?
Old school Renaissance. It's the
Barely.
original D&D style.
Barely made it to 19.
19. It takes you 2 days of effort.
this is the most effort he's put into anything.
Yeah, this is 8-hour days of like finally attuning yourself to the magical forces around you, pulling in mana and pouring it into the device, you're creating a channel from the ambient energies around you so that the device can pull through it. You don't require this, of course, as a bard. I mean, you literally are a walking mana generator. But others you've heard who suck do require this kind of thing. Do you infuse any? Do you infuse any of your own energy into this thing, or do you pull purely from the ambience around you?
I'm going to.
Your whole party is shaking their heads no.
You know, I feel like I've had a good talk with Runa. This is important to her. It's important to the kid. I'm trying to make myself a better person. So yeah, I'm going to put some of myself in here because why not?
All right. I just want to look over your cantrip list real quick because she's going to gain one of your cantrips.
Nice.
Spell book. The only spell you have in your book is sleep. That can't be right. You don't have any of your cantrips listed.
For cantrips, I have dancing lights and mending.
Well, I guess you just learned mending.
Yep.
I only get 2 cantrips, right?
That is well for now. That's true.
Yeah.
As a sorcerer, she gets way more cantrips though.
Yeah.
So yeah, she takes her new thing that you guys present to her. Tell me about the ceremony where you hand it over to her.
We probably tell her dad about it and have her come into the captain's quarters. We probably present it to her on like the last day of the journey, when we're reaching our destination, and kind of have her dad present it to her as a work that we've done.
Okay.
So there's like that bonding moment between them.
Her dad knights her with it, and then she takes it, and he's like, "Now, honey, I don't know how you use this thing, but I want you to be extremely careful. Someone your age can," and then she's like, "Magic missile!" And 3 watery dragon bullets, so they look like water that in the face of a dragon head, like slam into the back of his quarters, and he's like, "My word." He sits down in the chair and holds his left hand over his heart, and he's just like, "My word."
Perhaps some lessons may be in order as well.
I mean, you're aware that she's going to require like 10 years of training before she can regularly affect magic.
That
But
ain't my job.
she currently has the spells Magic Missile and Mending.
Nice.
So she spends the rest of the day running around the ship with her dragon Tonfa, mending things. She's just like, "Oh, your pants look like they're injured. Mending, 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 mending," because it takes 1 minute to cast. So she just says the word mending over and over again, even though it's not necessary. And is like fixing up everybody's clothes.
And then she magic missiles and all this shit.
He's adorable.
So
She's a lot more powerful than I thought she was.
well, I mean, she's got 1 hit point because she's about as powerful as.
You're in a fight.
Well, yeah, probably. I'm not sure you should, but you could.
Nah, I probably couldn't. We know I'd lose.
I wouldn't say that. I might imply it. The voyage continues for some time. Is there anything you guys would like to do before you reach the narrow channel?
Not particularly.
Debating whether I should take off my plate mail and put on chain, but I don't think it would make a difference if Kaz fell in the water with chainmail versus plate. I think he'd just sink no matter what.
Yeah, you should probably just strive to not fall in the water.
Yeah, just checking. Yeah.
That's the first thing I'm going to do, by the way, is drag your ass into the water.
Harpy, like Harpy's got a good strategy with just picking something up and bringing it over the water and dumping it. Right, so
there's a famous adventure path from Pathfinder, the very first one, called Rise of the Rune Lords. And there's an adventure that takes place by a cliff, and the Harpy strategy is to just wait at the cliff's edge, sing people towards the edge, and then literally just like pull them over the edge, and
Yeah.
drop them 200 feet and then feast on their dead body.
Makes sense.
That's, I mean, look, man,
Good
when you're an
strategy.
animal-like predator, that's a pretty good strategy.
There's a YouTube video of eagles doing that to goats.
Wow.
They do that exact thing. They grab the goats, drop them off the cliff.
Yep, that'll do it.
Yep.
Eagles are dicks.
Yeah.
Most
They're not.
animals are
We have a
dicks.
bunch of really sick eagles around here. They're super cool. They hang around by the interstate so that the warm air reflecting off of the interstate will force them up into higher straits, and they just fly in circles, wait for roadkill, and dive on it. They basically clean the interstate for us. It's pretty good. Good,
Yeah.
it's good situation for everybody involved. Anything else you guys want to do? The crew has set you to friendly. Helping Cynthia out, helping her achieve her dreams of becoming the water dragon, Cynthia. Her formerly childish babble about hearing the sea and having the blood of dragons makes a hell of a lot more sense to them now that they know that she's a dragon-blooded sorcerer. No one really knows how she became that. Her mom wasn't a sorcerer. Her mom probably wasn't a dragon. Her dad's definitely neither of those things, unless he's been hiding some pretty serious dragon powers. No one is really clear on how this happened. But no one's discouraged either. Anything y'all do during your remaining time in the week before you arrive in, let's call it Murdersville?
I'm going to play very close attention to the crew, trying to figure out which one the mom slept with.
Okay, make an investigation check. You use your persuasive ways. I say that without a trace of irony, because according to your role, you actually are capable of doing this, even though I, as a GM, might struggle to see a situation where Mortrick approaches this both clandestinely and politely. You don't think anybody on board slept with the wife. Most of them don't even know who she was. Those that do recall her to be extremely faithful.
Must have got up the boat before. I'll find him.
You recall from your time at Bardic College that sometimes great and intense magical energies and confluxes can allow sorcery to sprout up, and that dragon blood can be passed through generations. It's not necessarily like the dragon has to be a parent. It could be a great-grandparent, could be 8 or 10 generations down the line. A seventh son of a seventh son kind of deal.
Right.
Dragonborn, are they the Dragonborn race that we're talking about? Or are we
So
talking about
dragon-blooded sorcerers are not necessarily dragonborn.
Okay.
And not all dragons have dragonborn kids, because there's also half-dragons.
Okay.
So dragonborn are their own mixture race, different from others. This girl is not dragonborn, though. She's entirely human, just a human dragon-blooded sorcerer.
All right, that's it. That's all I do.
Okay. Anybody else?
Ready to go.
Kazador,
Right.
over the week, you eventually get down some very basic knot work. Your hands are not used to it. You're too stubby and too used to working with stone. Ropes are way too pliable. They're slippery. They're
It's like floppy hot dogs.
exactly. I mean, you're not doing any bow hitch stuff. You're doing like tie your shoes level of like. You've got that down.
Well, that's a useful skill. Especially if you're wearing plate mail, because you're stringing that thing up every day, putting it on.
Well, assumably someone helps you put it on, because it takes like 15 minutes or some crazy shit like that.
I think you can, like, it's possible to put
Oh
it
yeah,
on.
no, it's definitely possible, but yeah, it does take a while.
Yeah.
You basically got to Iron Man that on, but without the part where the suit extends around you.
Yeah.
You arrive at the narrow strait. It's not clear why it's called a strait, since it certainly is neither narrow nor straight. It looks like it's about 5 ship lengths wide. The boat will easily fit through there, but extending to the horizon in either direction is not land, but like vast spires of rock that jut out from the ocean depths. It is dotted with these hostile-looking sharp spikes. Among the spikes, occasionally a cliff face will emerge on a particularly flat one. As the boat prepares to head down this strait, the path between the spikes swerves and yews and becomes almost river-like in its passage. The sailors have told you it will take 3 days to sail through this, a significant distance, and it will require extremely difficult handling. But they all get very worried when, as approaching the first cliff face of a particularly large rock, there are harpies whose corpses have been nailed using massive pythons to the cliff face via nets. The harpies are dead. They have javelins and spears sticking out of their body, and there are 4 of them. The crew seems mixed. Some people are cheering on the death of the harpies. Others are wondering who left them there. This is not normal practice among ship crews, although a particularly ruthless pirate looking to make a name for themselves, or perhaps one of the southern imperial military vessels has passed through and was looking to make a practice out of the cruelty they're known for.
I ask Barrick, what does he make of this?
So Barrick is just like, in my time, I have seen many things. This is a first. Those javelins, look at the tips. Even from here, I can see that they are cruel and wicked. This is no work that a sailor has performed on another man. No. Some unknown force has taken these harpies and has left them here as a warning. We should take great care. If time were not of the essence for you, and your boss not my boss's boss, I would suggest we go another way, but that is not an option.
Rik-Jaxx, can he see? How close are we to the things? And maybe Rik-Jaxx can try and identify the weapons.
Yeah, sure. Rik-Jaxx, make a perception check as you pass closely.
Perception coming up.
You roll 1.
Yeah, I don't. Nope, I can't tell.
For you, you go to the edge. You get the boat has been smelling okay. I mean, it's not great. It's gone back to smelling kind of mildewy. The bill's just been filling up, but there's been a lot of time with fresh salt water, sea air, lots of sunlight. This is not your place, and there's so much rolling in the crow's nest. You go to look, and you're just like projectile vomiting your breakfast all over the place as you have a bout of seasickness. Runa, you lean over the edge as well. You get a close look at some of these javelins. I would like you to make a history check. A 12. These javelins specifically look like the type that people would use for spearfishing and any sort of air-to-water combat. They would be equally useful underwater as it would being out of water and stabbing into it. Or, of course, from land to land. Sorry, were you saying something? I think you're muted.
Bearded, you're muted, yeah.
Sorry, I was saying that I would /e explain that to our group as well as any of the crew to see if they knew anything like that in the area, because they would probably know better than we would.
When you explain it to them, there's a lot of muttering, and the word merfolk is being passed around.
I can't help it.
And we're like,
Merfolk.
So the captain stomps his way forward next to Mortrick and then goes, "Nay, son, not mermaids as you think of them. Merfolk, warrior people, amphibians. They build in shallow areas. They have whole cities and buildings underground. They harvest warm waters and coral. Keep schools of fish. If merfolk have set up in the narrow strait, then it is dire times ahead for us. Perhaps even worse than the harpies, but probably not as bad as the harpies. They're pretty bad. I mean, harpies are really, really bad. Merfolk, we can stab to death.
Sleep with the merfolk. That's my question.
Aye, son. Many a man has had his final embrace with the merfolk.
So it's not going to like ruin any fairy tales then if these guys aren't happy or aren't good. I mean, stories exist for a reason. We can't take that away from them.
Aye, stories do exist for a reason, but this is my boat, and if you spend more time flirting with the merfolk than killing it aboard my deck, you can go join them in the briny depth.
Well, like, do you have any stories about the merfolk?
I've never faced them in single combat yet, but I suspect before this journey be over, I will be. If you're asking me if I've ever heard stories of men and women who have slept with merfolk, the answer to that is I have.
Well, I mean, they can't be all bad then, right?
They are
they
a
open
solitary folk that keep to themselves mostly. They are not known for aggression overall, but if they consider this their territory, then it will be us who is the common threat to them, rather than the other way around.
Gotcha.
You seem to be a man of great magic and convincing. Could we perhaps place you at the front end of the boat to negotiate with them?
I am a so-so magician. I'm a fantastic negotiator. Put me up in front of this boat. I will negotiate the hell out of these merfolk. We'll be through here so fast you won't even believe it.
Do you need to make a deception check, or do you believe that?
Oh, I believe that.
Very well done.
100%.
So the captain has assigned Mortrick to be the official negotiator with the merfolk to try to get you through here with no problems.
Before we get close, though, like after the captain appoints me, I am going to go to Runa and be like, "Hey, Runa, so when actually no, I'm going to go to Rik-Jaxx. That's what I'm going to go to.
Rik-Jaxx is throwing up over the side of the boat.
Oh, I'm like, "Hey, Rik-Jaxx,
yeah, what?
you did such a great job with the crime boss, before we left when we got back from the mission. You convinced him that we'd finished everything up. So what are the chances you can pull yourself together here and back me up at the front of the boat?"
I have no problem with that. I think it's a good idea because I can keep you under control better that way.
Well, I mean, like, don't get in my way. Let me do my thing, but just be there as a backup.
Mortrick, I value your skills, whether you believe that or not. So I will back you up.
Let's do this. Well, I mean, like, finish up here though, and like,
yeah, I'll be right back. Do you have a rag? I need to clean up.
All right, I'm out. See you later. Thank you.
All right.
I'm gonna back away slowly.
He says he's not a good role player, and then he's just out here being like, "I'll back you up." That's some brotherhood right there.
I am a born-again role player. Just wait.
I believe in you. I don't need to wait. I believe it.
All right.
So here's the deal, Mortrick. How long are you going to wait at the front end of the boat for the merfolk? What's your level of patience?
I'm probably going to wait like 30 minutes and then try to like get the captain to come over to me.
Okay. The captain will come over. He says, "Aye, have you spotted them?"
No, not yet. I was kind of wondering, like, how long do I need to stay here? Are you going to be like paying an hourly rate for this?
I assume that you could summon them, with magic, or maybe like call out to them, "Oh, great and noble merfolk," something like that.
Oh, I can give it a shot. But again, speaking about that hourly rate, where are we going to land on that?
When you came aboard my boat, I pulled all of you aside and reminded you that you work for me for part of your passage.
Oh,
So your hourly rate is a cot and hot meals.
does that like count for my Mimosa? Geisis?
Gias? Look, as long as you're traveling towards the flute and genuinely wish to acquire it, your Gias will be fine.
I'm good? Okay. All right. I'm like,
As long as you equate receiving flute with student loan debt, you're good.
All right. I mean, I guess, you know what? I can be the bigger man here. I'll just roll this into those other charges. We're good.
What are you doing now?
I'm going to stand at the front of the boat. I'm going to hold my arms to the air.
All right,
I'm going
Titanic.
to close my eyes. I'm going to breathe in the spray. I'm going to say, hello? Hello? Is anyone out there? Hello? Hello?
Make a charisma saving throw. Let's see how lucky you are. How good your force of personality is at pulling upon the world. Hey, 19. Pretty good. Pretty good. Look, Mortrick, you've seen a lot of women in your times. How are you with fin hair?
With thin hair?
Fin hair.
Fin hair?
Fin hair. Fins,
You know,
fins for hair.
I've seen a lot of women, but I've never been very lucky with the ladies. So at this point, beggars can't be choosers.
Well, you know, this is a mermaiden. Mermaid could be questionable. There's no singing yet. She hasn't tried to pull you to your death. Definitely a woman with 3 fins on either side of her head, gills. She looks kind of thick. You know, some pretty good fat deposit distribution throughout her body. Probably she's, you know, been working out and gets regular nutrition here, as one would hope that merfolk would in a reef-rich area.
Right.
She comes up and then says something in a language you don't understand and says, "Greetings, passerby. You are entering the sovereign domain of the Shallow Lake merfolk. Why have you come here?" And so she's swimming backwards in front of the boat.
And what's the name of the place we're heading?
You're heading into the narrow strait.
We're just, no, I mean the town we're going to.
Oh, Havens.
Havens. We're on our way to Havens, and this is the best route, so we just thought we'd come check it out.
I must inform you, I do not know where Havens lay, but this bit of water belongs to the Shallow Lake now.
Is there any way we could negotiate a fair price of passage?
It would be dangerous for us to allow you to pass through our lands unescorted. Who knows what damage you might wreak upon our beautiful water and the reefs and our schools of fish.
Oh, and we don't want that any more than you do. We are 100% okay with an escort. Not a problem.
What do you have to prove your trustworthiness to us? That you are not here simply to hunt our people? That you will not destroy our bountiful lands?
We're merely a passenger boat. We're not a fishing vessel. We're not a... Are we a cargo vessel? It is like cargo.
It is a cargo vessel, yes.
Yeah.
It's a smuggler's boat, so it carries luxury items.
Yeah, we are, traders in fine wares. We're not, cargo only. We're not a fishing boat. We're not here to hurt the environment. We're just here to get to Havens.
Okay. All right. Make a persuasion check. No problem. Just the whole security of the boat depends on this.
Look at that.
That is a 1, friend. That is a 1.
God damn it. What is the point of having a +5 if you roll a goddamn 1?
Okay. I want to ask, where are the rest of you while this is going down?
I was with him, but I was sidetracked. Any way he can get advantage with my help?
Well, I mean, the dice are on the table.
Yeah. Okay.
So-
Okay. Yep.
All right, so you're up with him. Kazador, Runa, where were you during this negotiation? It's a few minutes after the discovery of the harpies.
I would say I was right there, sort of like standing behind, watching Mortrick negotiate.
All right. Runa?
Probably on the scaffolding, just kind of looking out and seeing if I could see anything in the ocean that would be particularly harmful to us.
Okay. All right. Go ahead and make a perception check. Actually, you won't need to. You have a passive perception of like 14 or 15, right?
Yeah, I think it's 15.
Yeah. After Mortrick's failure, you notice from underneath the boat come a swarm of merfolk that are climbing up the side of the boat. I will show you where they are and how they begin murdering in just a moment.
I'll definitely yell that they're coming up on the side of the boat if I see them.
By the way, the green bar for Runa's, is that the health bar?
That's her key bar.
Yeah. The blue one is my key bar. The green one is my
I see.
health bar.
Well, your health should be completely full right now
Okay. I will change it then.
because you guys have had days to heal.
Thank you.
Okay. So none of you are surprised as the merfolk pull themselves up. Each of them has a net around their belt. Some of them seem like they're getting ready to grab for it. Each of them does have 3 javelins strapped to their back using shark leather harnesses. They don't seem to have very much armor, just kind of like seaweed wrapped clothing. There's a lot of like seaweed loincloths. It's a little unusual. I mean, you're not really sure why fish people have that, but okay.
I'm gonna go grab some water real fast.
Okay. Well, let's roll for initiative, and when we get back, we'll figure out how dead Mortrick is. Since he's public enemy number 1.
More dead than last time, hopefully.
As usual.
Well, you know, you really shouldn't fail a negotiation check when you call yourself really good negotiator.
Where is the crew?
The crew are all handling the boat, which will require continual handling.
Including
The other half of the crew are sleeping below decks and have not been awakened yet.
Okay.
Well, would my yelling have awakened them?
It would not. I mean, yelling is
Okay.
not that unusual on a boat. Someone will need to go below, and that requires going through the closed hold door.
Gotcha. We're under attack.
Mortrick, let's get you on this initiative order.
Here we go. Yes. My rolling is on fire.
I mean, a dumpster fire, yes.
Nailed it.
Rik-Jaxx, with Runa's timely shout, you are free and available to defend yourself as these merfolk pull themselves up the side of the boat.
So, are they hostile? I mean, is it pretty easy to tell
they are immensely hostile.
Okay.
It seems that Mortrick has infuriated them. You guys have continued sailing in their lands without stopping after they kind of warned you, don't come here.
Okay. So I'm pulling out both my weapons this time. So no hand crossbow, but using my 2 short swords. And so I've got this question. Since I'm the first in an attack, do I still get sneak attack? Because like lots of stuff's going on. Okay.
Yeah.
So I'll try to attack the one to Mortrick's right and apply sneak attack if I hit. Of course, I have to hit. But let's see. So first, and I'm going to use my offhand attack as my bonus action.
Okay.
But first, here's the main attack.
No.
No. Okay. So
You go in
offhand
for the attack. He slithers backwards, and he uses his javelin to pull himself back on the deck. So, like, he leans back, ducking under it, and then, like, pulls himself back to be in your face. It's a weirdly snake-like sinuous motion. It's kind of impressive.
Yep. All right, so bonus action, either hand and...
Yes, that will hit.
Okay.
Would you like to sneak attack?
Yes, I would.
Okay.
So /R1d6.
You hit this guy pretty hard. You slam into him with your other attack weapon. Cha! It's like a long dagger for you or something?
It's a mangosh, so it's technically a short. It's like the shortest length, but still qualifies as a short sword.
Okay. You slam it into him. It doesn't like bite deeply into his flesh. You're not hitting any organs, but a line of blood is drawn, and it's clear that this person is wounded enough that if they don't retreat, they will probably expire soon. However, he seems to have no proclivity to retreat. Kazador, you got double trouble.
Yep. All right. Kaz is ready though. So takes a swipe at the guy to his left.
So top guy?
Yeah, the top guy.
Okay. Yeah, that hits pretty hard. You hammer down on their like fin-like lower body. I know it shows that they have legs here, but I couldn't find any merfolk specific thing. So these guys are like pulling themselves up the side, total upper body workout. You slam down on its tail. You hear some soft cartilage breaking. It's a sick noise. There's things coming out of the wound that should probably remain inside its body. This creature looks like it's on its last legs to begin with. It's just made it up here and is preparing to jump back in the water.
All right, and then I will take a deep breath and go for a second blow against the bottom guy. Can I do that?
Action surge. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Do it.
Show me the power. No.
Yep.
You take in a deep breath. You bring your warhammer around. You slam it down. This guy knows it's coming. He uses his javelin to push himself sideways and isn't there when the blow lands. You get the idea that these guys' land speed is extremely slow. They're using a lot of javelin stuff to give them fast impulse movement, but they are not suited to movement without legs. Runa.
I'm going to use the movement of the boat to jump down off the scaffolding and then punch this guy in the face.
Okay. Show me the power of your roll.
Nope.
Nope. You go down to punch this guy off, and you find yourself almost clinging to the side of the boat and pulling yourself back up.
I'm going to right myself and flurry of blows.
All right. It's like some capoeira stuff where you pull yourself up, you just flurry of kicks as you swing back up. Yeah, that one is going to hit.
Hits.
As will that. So you knock this guy back off the boat, and he falls back into the water, dead. With 2 slamming attacks, he's gone.
Yeah. And then I'll use the rest of my movement to get next to Kaz.
Mortrick.
That's it.
Mortrick.
I'm gonna take my rapier and I'm gonna finish off the one that Rik-Jaxx worked
Very well.
on.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm gonna say this is why you don't fucking talk to anything and you just fucking kill it, because it doesn't matter what you goddamn say. Sometimes people just don't understand and it's all shit and I hate everything about what I'm doing right now and I'm just like angry.
Rik-Jaxx, in the middle of this rant, he has stabbed and killed this guy. You can see the guy is like holding the sword. Mortrick has like kicked them off and is continuing the rant. This guy's fallen back in the water. There's a pool of dark blood that then begins leaking out into the ocean. It sinks below the waves and you can see it like reaching for the sky before it goes down. He's done for. He's done so. Now it's Attack of the Phantom Menace. Some of these guys are going to be way more available to attack with than the others. Okay, so these two are going to use their one javelin. So they have 3. They're using one of them to throw. One at Kazador, one at Runa. So let's open with that. Kazador, your AC is like ridiculous, right?
20.
Yeah.
Yeah, sure. That's not gonna hit. 12. And a 16 will not. Runa, what's your AC? I think a 16 might hit that. 15? Okay,
Yeah.
you get hit. You take 5 points of damage.
Okay.
Kazador, let me ask you a question. Have you ever heard the song Murder Train from the How I Met Your Mother soundtrack?
No, I haven't.
Okay, that's what happens to you. All 5 opponents concentrate on beating the hell out of you. Everybody is speaking in a language you don't understand that sounds very S-based. It's sibilant, it's hissy. And they are all like using their spear javelins to like crack open your armor and they're gonna try to pull you over the side and throw you in the water.
All right.
You have to go through me first.
I take a yell at them. Bring it. Yeah.
So first, this guy up here is gonna disengage because he's nearly dead.
So I can't get a attack of opportunity.
No, because he spends his action in order to avoid it.
Okay.
This guy right here is going to try to grab Kazador and throw him over the edge.
Okay.
So we make opposed strength rolls. You can use athletics or acrobatics to defend with. He has
Can
to
I
use acrobatics.
give him advantage because I'm holding him towards the boat?
If you are holding, I don't think so, but you will be able to grab Kazador before he goes over.
Okay, cool.
Okay. So mechanics question. My save mod is 5 for my strength. Can you just
Yeah, so it's not a save throw. It's a
straight
athletics check.
Okay, and so my athletics is better. All right.
Okay, this guy's got you.
Okay.
He grabs you. You can see he's thinking about going for the net, and then he just tries to throw you overboard. Runa, you can try to grab him before Kazador goes over.
I'll grab him.
Okay, Kazador, let me ask you a question. Are you in full plate right now, or are you in a chain shirt? How do you spend your time walking around the boat?
Well, I just said I had 20 armor, so.
Okay, then you are in full plate, and you are in some trouble.
Yeah.
Runa,
Yeah.
you're gonna need to grab Kazador before he goes in the drink.
Yep.
Athletics or acrobatics, whichever you would wish, to grab him before he goes over. Nope. Kazador,
Can I quickly try and grab onto the railing?
make a dexterity saving throw.
Okay.
Yes, you are hanging one-handed off the side of the boat. Runa is trying to help you up, but she can't. Like, if she gets your hand, she's gonna be, your whole weight is gonna be on her, and she's now busy fighting 3 other dudes.
Yeah.
So they move to make a move on Runa now. Cass is just like, save me, save me! I don't understand water. We don't have it where I come from. That's probably not what he says, but that's how it goes in my mind. Runa,
I like that.
you take 3 attacks with a +2. They all miss. Even though you spend your time trying to pull Kaz up, trying to save Kaz, you're like dodging back and forth. You're using your kicks. You're doing so much ab work out here. It's like a full core thing in 6 seconds. These guys are like, ha! And you're just like, ha! Everywhere they try to stab you, you're gone. Mortrick, you also have spear life problems. This guy's two-handing his spear. He's and he's like, it seems negotiations have failed, Drylander. Ha! What's your AC?
That's the spirit.
Yeah, okay.
13.
Nice.
Oh, yep. He goes to slam his spear into you, and then like goes past you, and it gets stuck deep in the wood, and he like pulls it out, and he tries to slither back towards you, but it's so slow. Rik-Jaxx, things have gotten both better and worse. Locally, for you, things are better. Overall, for the crew, things are worse. Kazador is hanging off the side of the boat. Is he screaming? Is he not screaming? I don't know. I would be screaming if I was in, 100 pounds of metal hanging off the side of a boat.
So can a bonus action be taken before an action?
Yes.
Yes.
There are several
Okay.
bonus actions. I mean, you could cunning action disengage here.
That's what I want to do. I want a cunning action disengage.
Okay. So for the rest of your turn, you won't provoke opportunity attacks.
Come down to that spot right there.
All right.
And attack that top guy.
Very well. You have sneak attack available because someone's within 5 feet.
Absolutely. All right. So
Yeah, you can basically do any of your actions in whatever order you want.
Okay.
Just know that sometimes it'll give you advantage and sometimes it'll give you disadvantage based on what you do.
Okay. All right. So main attack, main hand here.
12 will hit. 7 points of damage plus sneak.
All right.
Sneaky snake.
R1d6.
It's almost enough to put this guy out. You stab once, twice, 3 times in places where a fish would normally have vital organs. You miss the heart. You think you might have nicked the liver. This guy suddenly looks, if not pale, then slightly more green.
Okay. I'm going to do my other offhand attack.
So you don't have a bonus action left. You use your bonus action to disengage.
To disengage.
Okay. Then I'm done, right? Okay, I'm done.
Kazador, you're hanging one-handed off the side of the boat. It's not a great place to be. You're muted.
Yeah, you're
Still
muted.
muted.
Okay. Do I need to do a roll to catch the other hand? So that...
If you want to pull yourself up, it's going to be athletics to like lift yourself up in full plate armor back onto the deck.
Okay. All
It's
right.
basically a shiny silver earring on the side of this boat right
Before you roll, if
Yeah.
you roll a 1, you're going in the drink.
Yeah.
So
That's
don't roll
fair.
1.
now. Why you gotta put that pressure on him? Oh, thank God.
I know
really good.
that sometimes I come on here and I'm like, I've been playing RPGs for a long time. Let me tell you stories of my old group. But let me tell you stories of my old group. We had a pirate campaign called Skulls and Shackles. It was the second show I ever ran. There's a guy named Craig on it. He's an Air Force Master Sergeant, retired. There were six points in the campaign where a 17, an 18, a 19 would not be good enough. There were 6 separate times where he required a 20 to save his or another person's life. I was like, if you roll anything less than a 20, Dan will die. That's it. He's gone. He's dead. He's done. He would roll a 20 every time. There was one time where I was in the middle of that speech. I was like, if you roll anything less, he'd already rolled a 20. It was infuriating. It was the worst thing that ever happened to me. The audience loved it. The audience loved it. Kaz, listen, man, Murder Train is still playing in the background for you. It's like some heavy dwarven metal. You get a surge of strength. You're like, I'm a fighter. I'm Kazador Whiteknuckle. And your knuckle goes white as one-handedly. You pull your entire body weight and 100 pounds of armor and all of your equipment up. You get the second hand up. You launch yourself back onto the deck. There's literally only one space you can go right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, you spend half of your movement pulling yourself up. That is your action, but you still have your bonus action or anything else that you could do.
Oh, okay. What can I do as a bonus action?
I don't know that you have a lot. Of course, you have action surge.
Second wind if you haven't lost any HP, but I don't think you have.
He has not.
Yeah. And that's it, right? Can I like kick or grapple or anything like that?
No, unfortunately. You spend your whole turn pulling yourself up. You still have some movement left, but if you move any farther, you're going to provoke an opportunity attack.
Yep.
Good.
Okay. Yeah. Well, Runa, look, this was incredible to watch. There was some
I was impressed.
Yeah, there was some very serious lift.
Yeah. He definitely lifts.
It's definitely your turn.
I'm gonna attack the guys around me because I'm sick and tired of them being around me.
Who would you like to attack first? I mean, you got many. You have many options.
To attack the one that Rik-Jaxx attacked, so the one in front of Kaz.
Very well.
And to do that, I will need to roll stuff.
One punch. Yep.
Yeah.
You one punch this guy into death.
Cool. And then I'm going to use my last key point to do flurry of blows.
Of course.
No.
Who are you attacking? Because you're going to kill that person as well.
The one in front of me and the one to the left of me.
Well, it's going to require both of those attacks in order to do it. But yeah, you hit the guy to your left, and then you hit him with the other attack, and it's a critical, and you see the whole body. When you hit, there's like a whoop, 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 whoop that spreads out from the wound. You hit him in the key spot on his body. You've never done this before. And you hear an organ explode inside his body. You don't know what it is, but he probably needed that. And he looks down at his stomach and just begins pouring blood out as he lays forward. He's not dead yet, but that's definitely a fatal wound. He's dying. He's dying, and nothing will get him back up off the ground. Mortrick, you're in the middle of death combat, but Runa just cleans up on deck with, like, punch, kick, punch, punch.
Move away from the deck. Or away from the railing.
What do you want to do, Mortrick?
Stab at this guy as I angrily just motherfucking every goddamn son of a bitch fucking time and fucking and then I'm just gonna slash at him.
Okay.
Worked last time.
Well, at least it didn't cast sleep on himself.
Yeah.
But I love sleep. God.
All right. I need you to make a mark that your rapier is damaged, and until it is fixed, you stand the risk of having it be...
I'm going to whiff with this shot, and I'm just going to say, fuck it, I'm going to throw it overboard. I'm so angry at this thing.
Oh, wow. Interesting choice. You throw away the epee that you've had since you left Bard College. It hits the water and begins to sink. You're now weaponless before this creature, and it's like, I knew you were a seed-littering mongrel. Now die! He brings up his javelin again. It goes for an overhead strike.
I'm gonna say, my friend Runa is gonna kick your fucking ass, and then I'm gonna give Runa inspiration.
Oh, interesting. Bonus action? Is that what you say to inspire Runa?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
That's my bonus action.
Well, his action is to try to stab you, and with a 5, he's not going to.
Does not do that.
Runa, 2 more stabs towards you.
Cool.
6 is a miss. 15, I believe, is a hit, though.
That is my AC, yep.
Okay, so this is the one that's to the right for 1 point of damage.
Okay.
Rik-Jaxx, you've got problems. Xmas Jinja Ninja, thank you for the host. Another fantastic role-playing game host, by the way. If you watch this channel, you might want to check out some of her content as well. Rik-Jaxx, I wouldn't call it murder. It's more like, oh god, they actually can't move that far, can they?
You're just putting them to sleep.
They can only move 10 feet.
Yay.
All right, so one of them is going to attack Runa, and the other is going to throw something at Rik-Jaxx. So again, it's not like murder, Rik-Jaxx, because this guy can't kill you. But a 17, I think, will hit you.
Yep.
Yeah, that hits.
He throws a javelin at you. You manage to dodge out of the way, but it takes a bunch of energy on your part to get it done. You take 5 points of damage.
Okay.
Runa, another combatant slithers up to the field and hits you as well. For 6 points of damage. At first, it's a stab. The stab misses, but then they turn it into like a staff hit where they keep hitting you in the face over and over again. You're like, Rik-Jaxx comes back around to you.
All right, so I'll move up 5. Attack the one to my right. So down and to the left that we're looking at.
Okay, down and to the left.
That guy right there. And
advance upon him with 2 swords out.
Yep. Weapons attack.
6 will hit.
You
won't be able to get sneak attack because there's no one.
Runa's next to him. Oh, no one's next to him.
To the far left one, no. But you can, however, make your secondary attack on him as well.
All right, that's what I'll do. Here we go.
Spin around with another stab. That's it for him. Yeah, he's dead.
Very good. All right.
These merfolk are noticing that they're used to you think a very easy capture, given their nets and the fact that they aren't particularly disciplined. They were noticed coming up. You guys are murdering the shit out of them. There's fear fear and loathing in equal measure. They seem like they're about to break. Kazador.
Well, I'm getting my revenge. So I'm darting towards the closest one. And
Revenge of
Throw off the
Kazador.
shit.
That is the guy that threw you off the ship. So,
if I throw him off the ship,
well, you have both hands. You got a shield and a warhammer, and you had to use your shield hand to hold yourself. So,
Right.
I mean, you have to either throw down the shield or throw down the warhammer if you want to throw him.
Well,
The
I'm
other
not
way
throw-
you could throw him is by beating him to death.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to beat him.
Throw him off the ship by hammering him off.
I'll allow it.
Hammering into the next existence. All right.
That is a hit. Not enough to kill him, but enough to wound him by any measure. A warhammer by any other name is still a warhammer. Runa, I think you could just like deal with everybody all at once. We just need 3 critical hits real quick here if you want to throw that down.
I have no more key points, so we'll see how that goes. So I will punch.
Whoa, well, yeah. Well, you
That's
were
a
looking
natural
for
20.
that critical hit, and you got it. You got it. It's not enough to kill, but it's enough to greatly
I'm
wound.
gonna hit the one that Kaz just hit.
Okay, well, that is enough to knock him into the drink. You just punch him in the head, and dazed, he falls into the water. Mortrick. No one's been paying attention. The crew.
My movement. I'm gonna get here.
The crew is
I'm gonna
still.
try and like reach out and grab this guy.
Oh.
And pull him into the boat with me. And
Okay,
just-
so you don't want him to escape.
yeah,
All right.
I'm gonna try and like slam his head into the boat.
Make an athletics roll versus him.
Yeah, I excel at athletics.
With your strong muscles.
yes.
Oof.
You got a 1, and he got a 17. You try to pull him, and you're like, you're like lightly massaging him, and he just slaps you in the face. You're like,
Give him a nice hug.
so again, the crew is still handling the ship,
And I'm
right?
gonna say, God damn it, I fucking hate everything, and life is miserable. My friend Kaz is gonna kick your ass. And I'm gonna give Kaz inspiration.
Wow, throwing inspiration left and right.
Yeah.
At the very front end of the boat, there is a guide rope, and Cynthia is riding from the rigging down to the front end of the boat. And as she's going past you, she's like, "Magic missile!"
Yes.
And she drops a magic missile on this dude, but she is now at the front end of the boat, and that dude is strangely near her. So I think at first level, magic missiles like 3d4 plus 3 or something like that.
Something like that.
It is 3 darts at 1d4 plus 1. So it is 3d4 plus 3. No need to be intimidated. She's just better than Mortrick. 13 points of damage.
Oh my god, that's so much.
A 7-year-old girl just sends water missiles through this guy that you're holding. You like distract him for a moment, and then there's 3 holes in his chest that you don't know how they got there beyond the screaming of magic missile. Things that were inside his body are no longer inside them. Cynthia doesn't seem to understand that she just killed somebody. She's just like, "Are you okay, teacher?" And then like runs towards you, but then forgets that she's still hooked on the guide wire and gets like, "Whoa!" The remaining 2 guys are going to disengage and try to throw themselves over the edge. Guy number 1's going to make it far enough. Guy number
Do I
2 is
get
not.
Do I get an attack of opportunity?
He's disengaging, so
Oh,
any movement
gotcha.
for the rest of the round doesn't
Yeah,
prevail.
Gotcha.
He slithers at his whole 10-foot speed, makes it through the edge, and just lifts himself over. Rik-Jaxx.
I'm going to follow him and take an attack. Do.
Okay.
All right. So first attack.
Yep. That'll hit. He is
All right.
unwounded, but you stab him in the back.
All right. Second attack.
You bring your other hand around. Also a hit, and it will be enough to kill him. Tell me how you
Yeah.
finished the last merfolk off.
All right, so I ran towards him, did a slide to stay under the reach of any of his weapons, stabbed his leg with one, and then the main goes, straight up into his private parts.
Wow, that is not where I want to main go at. Moments after you clear the deck, Hal bursts up
So
from.
is my last. Oh, wait, what's going on?
Hal bursts up from the hold, and he's like wearing a pot for a hat, and he's got like an iron bar, and he's like, "Let me at them! I shall defend you!" He's got a torch in his left hand that's lit for no apparent reason.
Put that torch out.
So he throws it overboard, and he's just like, "Okay, I got you."
I want to use Cure Wounds on the one that got magic missiled so I can kill him again.
He's super dead. I mean,
he's already dead.
13 is much more health than he has.
I would appreciate a cure wounds.
I'll go over and begrudgingly Cure Wounds. Like, fine, here you go. Never fighting with a goddamn sword again. The pays are stupid. 5th place is just the 4th loser. And then I'm going to go down below.
No need for any spells here, lads. I've got plate armor. I'm all right.
So, we get a helicopter view of the ship as our characters are gathered on the top. We notice Mortrick stormed downstairs. Cynthia is traveling down the length of the boat using her guide rope so she doesn't fall overboard. Her dad is furious that there was an attack, that they don't know what's going up ahead on the narrow strait, that she killed somebody. He doesn't know how to deal with it. He again looks like he's having a heart attack. He's pale. He's sweating. He's clutching his left arm. Things are not going well for the captain.
Oof.
But the great news is that you guys get 156 experience points.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where
yeah,
does that
yeah.
put you on the list of things that get you to 3rd level?
Let's see. 156.
I think we're like 200 away.
We're 817.
Yeah, so next session you could conceivably level out.
817.
Whoop whoop. So, how many points did you heal me on the way out?
Oh, and then it is 11.
Wow, 11. That's a lot of
Because I
points.
could roll max on that die.
That's mostly all of it.
Yeah.
You're fucking welcome. Go to my room, guys.
The fates are telling you to go healing.
So next episode, there's a lot of problems we have to solve. Do you advance further through the water? Will the captain die? What weapon will Mortrick wield next?
Yeah.
Throwing away your epee was a weird flex, but okay.
I imagine he just like swirls it around and then he just tosses it.
Next episode, of course, a strange watery hand will push his epee back out of the water for him. He'll refuse it a few times before taking it. It'll be magical by then.
It's gonna be D&D Moana.
Is this a picture of Mortrick? Yes, it is.
Indeed.
I feel really bad. He worked on it all night. Now there's no epee.
That's all right. We'll draw a new weapon next time.
Just put a dotted line of where the epee used to be. Your line and erase a little bit out of it.
Guys, we got through another session. I hope you enjoyed your time with us, audience. I hope you enjoyed your time with each other, players. Let's do some outros. I'm Arthur Perkins. This is Apgamingreal. I'm still streaming every day until this Friday. Yeah, I mean it's a time, and then I'm streaming again Saturday. So
We'll be here on Tuesday.
yeah, next Tuesday. Is everybody good?
Yep.
I'll be here.
Good.
All right. Who's our artist next week?
It'll be me.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And that's what we look forward to. Bearded, let's start with your outro.
Yeah, you can find me at the social medias, beardedjalapno, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, probably not Facebook, but definitely Twitch. I should start streaming here this week pretty soon once I get my computer up and running, so catch me there.
Okay.
How about you, PlanetKhaos?
Hey guys, I'm PlanetKhaos. So you can find me on Twitch under PlanetKhaos. You can find me on Instagram under PlanetKhaos_art, and chaos is with a K. And by the way, if you want anyone to draw your characters, your D&D characters, come by Twitch and say hello and let me know what you need. Mick?
I am the formerly epee-wielding bard Mortrick, otherwise known as Mccomicker on Twitch, Twitter, and Instagram. I'm on Twitch Monday through Friday, usually working on comics of one type or other.
Guess that leaves Connor.
That's it.
That'd be me. Hey guys, I'm conorhughes. I'm at twitch.tv/conorhughes. I'm going to try and be streaming most days of the week, pending randomness. But yeah, I'll be streaming, making the comic called White Ash, and you should check us out.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Thanks everybody for joining, and thank you AP for doing this.
You know. Thank you guys for coming out, making us beautiful art, and throwing people overboard and things, objects, really.
Just anything that comes to
Yeah.
Threw a rapier overboard. Kaz got thrown overboard. So many things.
But only nearly. Didn't
I mean, you
quite
were
get
thrown
caught.
overboard. You just came back. You got better.
No one tosses a dwarf, so that's
No one throws
Kind
a
of feel
dwarf.
like someone did throw a dwarf. You just unthrew yourself.
I feel like that they always say to not throw a dwarf, but like in every RPG ever, dwarves always get thrown.
Yeah,
all the time. Yeah.
they're like bowling balls. You really shouldn't throw them, but at some point you just do.
It's a fastball special, man. You get
Exactly.
a big enough orc, or you just throw some dwarves around.
That was great. PlanetKhaos.
Yeah, that was super fun.
Congratulations. It's really
Good
nice.
looking. I really
Yeah,
like
thanks,
this kind of
guys.
cravat deal you got going on
It's
for him
really
as
good.
well. Very classy. All right.
So hopefully I did him justice. But it was a very, AP, I just want to say, very exciting game. I
right.
had such a great time tonight.
Excellent. We're out. We'll be back next week, y'all.
Yeah.